Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I have a tutorial on how I made this pretty weird looking toffee apple inspired squishy. As you can see, I'm going to start squishing it at the start of this video because it holds finger crinkles so well, and if my camera would focus that would be great so you could actually see it, but it does. It's really slow rising and I cannot wait for you to watch the video on how I made it. So to start off with, I actually decided to use a car sponge for this tutorial because I know a lot of you don't have a memory foam and stuff like that. So I figured I would just use a car sponge just to kind of like give an example. But you can of course use memory foam if you have it. This car sponge I actually got from Wilko the other day and it cost 30p, which is just brilliant as I did only use half of it. So actually the sponge only cost me like 15p for the squishy, which is crazy good. Anyway, I just cut it in half and then cut off like the middle section just to kind of have like a rectangle bit. I just set that aside, and then with the curved edge I just rounded that out into kind of like a flat ended ball just to make my little apple shape. So I just went ahead and smoothed this out with my scissors. As you can see here, like it does build up on your scissors when you use this type of foam. I think it's just like the staticness in it. But yeah, that's the only thing annoying about not using memory foam and a cheaper sponge. That does happen, but you just kind of just keep cutting and ignore the fact that it builds up on your scissors. You can actually use like the foam to kind of remove it, just like wipe it off as you've seen there. So anyway, what I then went ahead and did once I had the main apple shape was I went back in with that rectangle bit that I showed you earlier, and I actually just cut that down and smoothed out one of the edges to make it nice and round to act as the stick of the toffee apple. So I actually went ahead and glued these together using hot glue. You can use whatever glue that you like. I know some people prefer fabric glue and that's absolutely fine. It probably is better to use that if you do have it because it doesn't leave a hard kind of lump in the middle, but I don't really mind, so I use it on pretty much every single one of my DIY squishies. So next I went ahead and painted the whole entirety of the shape in a white puffy paint mixture, which was just white puffy paint mixed in with a bit of PVA glue, and I just spread this all over the toffee apple shape, and I did 2 layers of this in total. So I really want to make sure that these base layers were kind of nice and thick so that I was able to like fill up some of the massive holes that actually were in the car wash sponge. This is another major flaw with car wash sponges. They actually have really big bubbles in, obviously just because they're cheaply made, but you'll need a lot of paint to kind of fill those in. So what I then went ahead and did once I had 2 layers of the white was I just took a paintbrush and some red puffy paint mixture, and I actually just painted the whole of the apple section and up on the little stick for a little bit, and I did 5 layers of the red in total. This took me a full day to do that, leaving it dry in between each layer. Once the red was completely dry, I felt like it needed something a little bit extra, and when I was in Tesco's the other day I actually seen like toffee apples dipped in chocolate and like icing or something, so I actually just did a like white dipping effect on the bottom, and I wish I did this in another colour as I kind of feel like it looks like a Pokemon ball, which, you know, it looks like a Pokeball on a stick, and once you see that you can't really unsee it. So I went ahead and mixed up a beige colour and just painted the stick in that colour. I let that dry, and then taking a darker brown I just painted on kind of like a wood grain. Now my wood grain painting is not all there. I have learnt that because when I was doing this I was regretting it as it went along because I felt like it looked a bit rubbish. But I persevered and just left it anyway because then it sort of looks more like a stick. Well, it doesn't really, it just looks like it's got swirls on. So anyway, on my apple I then decided to paint a little kawaii face because I love to put kawaii faces on absolutely everything, and I went ahead and did that with a black puffy paint and white puffy paint for the highlight of the eyes. To kind of make the white bit blend in a little bit, I decided to add Halloween coloured sprinkles. So I used a lime green, a purple and a bright orange just to add sprinkles down on that bottom portion because I wanted it to make it look like it was dipped in like white chocolate or icing or something and then sprinkles put on top. Does that make sense? Like a normal toffee apple then dipped again. So like a double dipped apple. Anyway, what I then went ahead and did was I mixed up some pink, which I actually just mixed up with some white puffy paint to make it a nice light to colour, and then I filled in the tongue and I popped some blush either side of the eyes. I then left that to dry once again, and once the sprinkles and all the face and everything was fully dry, my weird toffee apple was then complete. So as you can see, it is really nice and slow rising. It's actually really soft, which I wasn't expecting, as the last couple like car wash sponge ones I've done haven't been that soft. But this one has turned out absolutely perfect, and just look at it. It's so slow rising. Even with a massive squish like this one, it just slow rises all the way back up and it just looks beautiful. I feel like I could have done a better job at kind of smoothing out the apple, as it was still a little bit choppy, but the little bits of foam from the car wash sponge were kind of driving me a little bit insane, so that's why I didn't smooth out to its fullest potential. But you know, toffee apples aren't 100% smooth, at least not in Tesco. They're not. They've got little bubbles in and everything, so you know, let's just pretend that it's okay. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, as it really does help me along my way. I do apologize for missing yesterday's upload. I just was so ill, I just couldn't even contemplate doing a video, but I'm back now and hopefully can keep with everyday uploads. So like I said, if you like this video, then please do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.